Alright, back with another one. This one is another tote from the Phillipson Ford lot from Wisconsin. Another 27-gallon tote. Just a word about those totes. They're not the best. They have a durability issue. They're really not made for industrial kind of stuff, and so the tops break and things of that sort. But I had started to use distribution containers, which are a lot better. They're a lot more durable. They're professional, industrial type intent for their use. But about 5 years ago, I bought out a very significant portion of the dead inventory of an old Ford parts business in Minneapolis called Little Dearborn, and I needed about 100 of these as soon as I could get them. And the distribution containers are nice, but they were $25 a piece. And these containers, I walked into the Menards in Mankato, Minnesota, and I said, I need 100 of these. What kind of a deal can you make me? And they gave them to me for 10 cents over cost each. So I walked out of there with 100 of these things for about, I think, a little under $7 each. And they're $15, $16 in the store. So yeah, it was a pretty good deal. And they've lasted 5 years, so they're not too bad. Not too bad, I guess. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get on to the tote here. 76 fuel pump. It's a D6DX replacement rebuilt fuel pump. Looks like your standard vacuum mechanical fuel pump. I probably, depending on what it is, I'll look it up, but usually what I do with stuff like this is I'll save this and I'll throw it in a big lot. Auction, goes up for $9.99. And usually does fairly well. Gets it out of here. Otherwise, it's $1 on a swap meet tarp, and you're hauling it back and forth for 3 or 4 times before you finally can get something for it. So much better to try to auction them off. Let's see what else we got here. This is a it says bonded 8A 2218-19B 49 to 53 rear. I think these are brake shoes. Yeah. Brakes are something that they're fairly easy to get, and they're cheap. And there's a lot of this stuff out there, so they can be difficult to sell unless there's certain applications. The older Ford stuff, these are Ford authorized reconditioned brake shoes, so these may actually be worth something if people look for the classic replacement parts. So we'll look those up. Here's another box, I think, of the same thing. Yep, these are Northern Motor Rebuilders, official rebuilder for Ford Motor Company. Not the only one, but one of them. Falcon. Yep, these are front and rear Ford Falcon. So 60s Ford Falcon, 65 to 68. Again, they're brakes. But Falcon parts are hard to find, especially the later 60s stuff. So, they're worth looking up. We'll look those up separately, see what we can get for them. My guess is probably not much, but it's worth a shot anyway. Okay, there's a box of something in here. Interesting. Reed Manufacturing Company, Erie, PA. These look like part of a tap and die set. Oh, these are super industrial. I don't think I have anything. I know I don't have anything that big that needs threads on it. But somebody might, and industrial tools, especially good classic tools that can be in high demand, so those are worth taking a look at. Clean them up, maybe. Who knows? Let's see. Oh, here we go. There's a bunch of stuff in here. D3. Okay, this is for some sort of bracket, bumper bracket, perhaps. No, it's not strong enough. Not beefy enough for that. But this is a 73 Torino. Not sure what that part is, but Torino stuff is hard to find, and it's fairly popular. So I would imagine somebody will be looking for that. So we'll look that up. It's in a John Deere box. PT60 green spray cans. Okay, box. There were a Phillipson Ford, I think, was also a John Deere dealer. So they've got a lot of John Deere parts. I didn't get many of them, but I know there were some there. This looks like, I'm not really sure what those are. I think those might be trim molding fasteners. Yeah, these are fasteners for molding, I think. Yeah. Oh, that's definitely what these are. I will have to sort through this and sort them out, but there's so many of them here that, you know, it depends on if it's something, but it'll take some research. Maybe there's a part number buried down in there. Oh, this is interesting. There's a bunch of these in there too. I have sold these clips before. I can't remember what they are. I'll have to look them up. I don't remember what they go to exactly, but they're molding. They're trim stainless molding attachment clips. I think that's what the rest of this stuff is. So I'll have to sort through this and separate it out into groups and try to look it up if there's no part numbers. Individually, they're not worth anything, but together, you know, if there's a few hundred of them, it's worth selling them in groups of 10 or whatever. So those are interesting. We'll look those up. 2 more boxes in here. This one doesn't look like it has much in it. Oh. Okay. That is a dome for a safety light. That's all that's in here. The box says Airtex fuel pumps and water pumps. So that is not the box that came in originally. I'll look that up, you know, everything. You'd be surprised at the stuff that people look for, and you think something isn't going to be worth anything, and then you look it up and pow, $100. So another box, another John Deere box. You know, interesting thing is there are a lot of John Deere fans out there, and they will buy stuff like this. My experience is they're kind of fanatical compared to like regular car people. And yeah, I mean, box stuff like that is I mean, this box is kind of ratty, but things like this sell. I mean, I sold a bunch of paper bags with they didn't even have the Deere logo on them. They just said John Deere on the side, and somebody paid me $100 for them. It was interesting. These are water pump pulleys. That's for a 58 Lincoln, probably 48 to 53 Lincoln. This would have been the 337 Flathead, which was the largest Flathead that Ford made. In fact, it was so big they couldn't put it in any of their regular cars. It went in the trucks and the big Lincolns only, because it was so much physically larger than the other Flatheads that, I mean, just the engine alone, I think, weighed something like 850 pounds. It was ridiculous. And that reason, that was what made the Ford Flathead obsolete at that point, was because to increase the displacement they had to physically increase the size of the engine block because of all the space that was in it, because all the valve train's in the block. So, but anyway, that's water pump pulley. Those are actually worth a fair amount of money, probably 20-30 bucks. Here is a 8BA. This is for the 239, the last generation, the 48 to 53. This is also a water pump pulley. And thermostats. There's an 8BA. Looks like there's a few of them in here. 8BA is a flathead part. So there are 1BA, that's also for a flathead, that would be a 51. An 8RT, I think, also is. So these are all, I think that's what most of these are. I'd have to look. Thermostats in general don't sell well, even these old ones. They're just, it's a thing that's easy to get. So vintage stuff doesn't sell well, but they will sell as a lot. And if they're for a flathead, people will buy them, because flathead stuff is very, very popular. There's almost any rule you can think of for engine parts is almost does not apply to when you're talking about flathead parts, because people really, they're really still really popular. Even though, I mean, I think Ford made them, I want to say the last flathead engine, V8 engine they made was 1974. They continued to make them in South America, I think, and they were used as like pump engines and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it really, they surprisingly a long period of time they made these engines. So, but you know, they're popular with nostalgia hot rodders and stuff. So I'll look all those up. I think these will probably go, and the rest of the thermostats, nothing else, I can throw them all in one lot. But anyway, that's the last of the Tote.